Hi, everyone. We are back. We are back, yo. We are back with Wine Down Wednesday. I, oh my gosh, y'all, I need this glass of wine. Needs it. Needs it. Look at that. Cheers. Hey, thanks for joining. Hello. For those of y'all who don't know me, it's Wednesday. Hold on a second. Here we go. For those of y'all that don't know me, my name's Orion Brown. I am the founder and CEO of Black Travel Box, and this is Wine Down Wednesday, where we have a glass of wine or whatever you have. It could be Pepsi, it could be Kool-Aid, but I prefer a good Pinot Grigio, where we just take a minute to simmer on all things travel to get that beautiful feeling that you get. You know that feeling that you get when you book your trip? Excited about it and you're thinking about the hotel and you're thinking about where you're gonna go and what you're gonna do. Even it doesn't matter if it's 6 days, 6 weeks, or 6 months. You're like excited about it. Hey, Miss Monae, how are you?
Great. I am so happy to be here. I got a last second client and I said, okay, I can fit it in, but I'm going live at 7:30.
Ah! I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm just introducing everybody to Wind Down. We've got so many people coming in. It's so exciting to have these conversations each week. It started out during COVID of just being like, I miss travel so much,
Yes.
and realizing that y'all miss travel too. And so we're going to take time. We're going to talk about some travel. We're going to get into beauty. We're going to get into all kinds of stuff. So this is going to be fun, fun, fun. Now, where are you? You're hanging out in the car. Are you in a safe location? Let's start with
I hope so. I'm in Brooklyn, New York right now where I live, but I'm not in my neighborhood. So, yeah, I hope I'm in a safe location. If it's not safe, y'all, everybody will peep what happens.
well, I meant more like pulled over, that kind
Yeah,
of thing. Yeah,
absolutely.
Brooklyn's cool.
Pulled over and hands-free.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much for joining us. We typically do, I don't know if you've seen a lot of our wind downs, but we typically do just an intro. So tell everybody who you are, where you're from, where you live, even if it's the same place, what your day job is, so we can know who your client was. Well, we don't know who your client is, but and how many stamps do you have on your passport, roughly?
Okay, that was a lot. Okay, so my name is Monae Everett. I am a celebrity and editorial hairstylist and also the creator of Texture Style Awards, the very first awards that are based around celebrating all four textures of hair and the stylists who slay them. We will have a ceremony this Monday, July 5th at 8 p.m. at texturestyleawards.com. So clearly that is consuming me right now. Some of my work you may have seen, I work quite often with Dominique Fishback, who was the star of Judas and the Black Messiah. She was the leading lady. I've worked with Viola Davis, Taraji P. Henson, many Disney stars. I'm trying to think of other names, but of course they escape me. Merle Dandridge, Lynn Whitfield, Paige Hurd, leading lady on Ghost Book 2. So, I get around a bit. My client,
Some stuff.
yeah, I do a little things. My client today is a politician that's about to go live, I think, on CNN to talk about politician stuff. I love to travel, especially before COVID. It was not unusual for me to be in 3 different cities in a week.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, girl, I was out, yeah, and I still travel quite a bit. That has just picked up in the last few weeks. I would say my passport stamps, I got to get more stamps. I know I've been to Kuwait, Canada, London, Toronto. Actually, the very first place that I went out of the country was Kuwait, and it was amazing.
Wow. And your work took you to Kuwait, or that was just something that
Yes.
you were interested
Yes, my work took me to Kuwait. I have this, if we got the time, I'll tell the story. It's an interesting story.
in?
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
tell us
you
the
so
story.
much.
I want to know. Like that's definitely a unique one.
It is. So, since you already know, I ended up in Kuwait. But here's the deal. When I first got on Instagram, this lady had DM'd me, and she was like, hey, I really like the way you do hair, and I'm going to come to New York from Kuwait in 8 months for my 60th birthday. Can you do a photo shoot? I was like, or you can hit me in 7 months, like, because I didn't know if it was a scam. You know, I didn't understand.
Yeah.
So she tracked me down, and she was like, she called me and, you know, like on a shaky line, she was like, I think you think I'm a joke. I'm not a joke. I'm a real woman. I'm turning 60. I want you to do my hair and makeup for a photo shoot. I want you to put the shoot together. Tell me where to send you money so that you can put it together. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess she's real. Put the shoot together. She was one of my favorite clients. She would come to New York multiple times a year. Like, I would just look for her. And one day she's like, if I asked you to come to Kuwait to do a wedding, would you come? And I was like, of course. She was like, but our weddings are not like American weddings. And I was like, of course I'll come. I got an email and was like, this is your flight itinerary. It was right before Christmas, okay? I went there. It was absolutely beyond anything I could have possibly thought possible. And this woman, if I were to show you, most people thought she's Caribbean, but she's not. She's Kuwaiti, and quiet as kept. I don't say this very often, but when I got there, I learned that I was doing a wedding for the Kuwaiti royal family.
That's
Didn't
what's
even
up.
know before I got there.
That's what's up.
Had no idea.
And people, so this is a lesson. You never know who your clients are. You never know who the people are that reach out to you.
Yeah.
While of course being cautious and making sure that nobody's getting your social security number or anything like that. There's because that's real talk. That's amazing that by showing just a little bit of kindness and an open mind and planting that seed in one place took you halfway around the world and into the space of royalty.
It was a life-changing opportunity, and I was sitting there thinking, like, all this time I'm wondering if you're going to scam me. You are more in danger dealing with me than I am with you. Little did I know. It was amazing. She's like, oh, you know, when you come, you can stay at my house. I was like, or I can stay at a hotel. She said, okay. Girl, she picked me up. I saw her estate. I was like, what is happening here? Her in-home salon. And then she's like, oh, this is my friend's hotel that's right across the freeway. This was a life-changing. This was a life-changing opportunity. Do you hear me? I never traveled the same. I never thought I would be in the Middle East. I didn't know so many of our Middle Eastern brothers and sisters look like you and I.
Yes.
The internet is completely different from ours. So when you search stuff over there versus when you search it here, it's very different. It was just a wonderful experience. It taught me I can go anywhere, I can do anything. And my talent took me places. A lot of people just simply don't respect those in the beauty industry. My talent has taken me up, over, and across the world multiple times.
Wow.
Oh, New Zealand. I forgot that. I spent time in New Zealand, too.
I love it. Out the gate, you came through with an amazing story. Like, I love this. So, because your talent has taken you around the world, how do you approach travel in terms of your own experience of these places? Like, are you just working? Do you take time to take it in? Like, how do you kind of keep sort of the experience with you? Besides the fact that I know you love, you love beauty and you're making these people look amazing. Like, what are some of the things that you do to kind of keep that full experience and get the most out of it?
Well, it's cool that you asked that question because I have been talking to myself more about taking it in. I am definitely a work person. And then I thought about it. I was like, all I can describe about some of the states I've been to is their airport. Does it really count? Or the inside of their hotel room? And I'm like, well, the hotels look the same in every city. I don't know that really counts. So what I'm doing is making myself take the time. Like when I was in London, I made myself just even drive around and get out and walk around a little bit. In New Zealand, I made myself walk around a bit. Kuwait, I was a little lazy, but they also were like, we don't want you walking around here in Kuwait just for the reason that, like, for no reason other than what we thought, but it was pure. It was a lot of sand. It was a lot of water, and they were like, it's just really easy to get turned around. And I felt like I was there representing somebody, and I did not want to possibly make a wrong move. But, when I go out of the country, I make myself move around, but I'm not so good at doing that when I'm in the U.S. So I've been to, at bare minimum 35 states. So pretty soon I'll be able to say I've been to every state. And I'm like, I need to enjoy it more. But I do put out on the internet like, hey, I'm in this city. Who wants to link? But I find like people always think that I won't really link up with them. So like the day comes and they're like, oh, I didn't think you were really going to come. Yeah, I'm trying to meet people, go places, do things. Like, let's make it happen, you know?
Yes, yes. And that's the thing, like, that's especially with as many states as you've been to, having, like, I mean, it's almost like having a little community everywhere you go.
That's the intent, absolutely. I think I took too long to understand the importance of that, but that is wholeheartedly my intent now.
I love that. One of the things that I like to do, if nothing else, if it's a work week in a place, is try to get in a brunch or a lunch and bring all the people together and like knock it out. I mean, that's kind of bad, but I try to knock it all out at once.
Yeah, knock it
and
out.
And concentrate it. So tell us a little bit about what it's been like being a woman of color going into all of these places. And especially coming in as a boss to some extent, right? Like you're coming in to do a job, you're professional. Like what has been your experience in some of these places? What have been some of the highs? What have been some of the not so highs?
I like to tell the truth. I am pretty truthful. I have not had a lot of racist incidents, but I have had some, whether it's, you know, showing up to the celebrity's very high-end hotel and not being able to find anybody to help me. Magically, they're there helping someone else, or being seen as simply the help, you know. So that hasn't been great. And I have to say, honestly, it is my concern every time I travel somewhere. I am generally always alone. I am very aware that if something were to happen to me, they would say, well, why'd you go there by yourself alone? You know what I mean? Like, you didn't take safety into consideration, and I feel like black women are always held accountable for things that happen to them. You know, it's never, well, that person maybe shouldn't have jumped out the alley and knocked her upside the head. It's, well, why was she at the alley? And she was there alone. And what was she wearing?
What was she doing there?
Yeah. So I definitely take that into consideration. I have been a little, I don't know the best word, envious might not be the best word, of my male counterparts who are in the beauty industry, who travel everywhere by themselves, and they go to the club by themselves. They go, you know, weed is legal in some states, so some of them might enjoy smoking weed or getting high or doing things that would be considered inappropriate for a woman to do. And they have fun, and they wake up the next day and they go on about their business. But I know as a black woman, that probably would not be in my favor. I don't smoke, but I'm just throwing it out there, how open they are about things that may be considered a vice to some, and they still go on party. They putting up, I'm partying tonight in this city, where am I going? And they are able to do that. And I don't feel like that's the same thing for me as a young black woman to go out and be like, hey, I'm partying with complete strangers. Let's get it. You know? I would like
if we do it. Yeah. No, that's a really big point, because it's not even about, it's almost not even about the location. It's really gets so centered around you that you could be in the center, you know, in the middle of nowhere, and somebody could be like, well, why were you in the middle of nowhere? You could be in the middle of a big, safe city, and people would be like, well, why were you in the city by yourself? What time was it? So that's a really interesting thought. Are you, like, what measures do you take when you travel to kind of keep yourself feeling safe and comfortable in your environment, as opposed to, like, maybe what other people may expect?
I have learned this from my celebrity clients. One, people think I put a lot of my personal life online, and I don't. But the biggest thing you do that I've learned from them is you can post anything you want about your life after you're already done with it. So you can post any restaurant looking like you're having a phenomenal time 2 days later. You know? So people think that they know where you are and what you're doing, or like how people will post like out of town living, this, that, and the other. Yeah, I posted that from my couch because I was out of town 3 days ago. You know, just a lot of different things like that I do. And some of it is purposeful, and some of it is because I'm busy having the experience at the time. But I am very unlikely to post what I'm actually doing at that time.
And that's a gem, y'all. For those of you who are like, but I want to do it for the gram and I want to tag the place, do it later. And it just gives
Yeah.
you a little bit of a layer of insulation,
You don't
not
know
only in the
who is
location
looking.
you're in, but your home when you ain't there.
Oh my God, you don't know who is looking. I remember years ago when I was first interested in online dating, and this guy, I guess we didn't hit it up. Like there was no thought to me about this guy. I don't know. You'll
Yeah.
see the reason why. And I was in the salon one day, and they said, there's a cop up here who wants to talk to you. And I worked on Capitol Hill, and that was not uncommon because I worked on Capitol Hill in D.C., and I was the salon manager. And this guy was just looking at me weird, and he was like, I told you I'd find you. You don't want to get back to me? I told you I'd find you. He was fully armed in a cop uniform and was basically saying that I had talked to him online. But I don't even recall the conversation, but if you're standing there with a full assault rifle talking to me, I felt it was very threatening. The way this ties in is you don't know who's looking at you. So you don't know who's keeping tabs on you. So I can go to another city, like say I'm in, oh my God, I just wanted to throw out a place that's not very popular. Say I'm in Austin, Texas. You don't think anybody cares in
Yeah.
Austin. Or say I'm in Utah. You're like, nobody's checking for me in Utah. You don't know. And you show up in that person's city, and they sitting there waiting on you. Or they think that you have something to give. Like, you know, like I see people who are promoting their own brands during our lives. You don't know when I go to their city what they think I can do for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
girl.
so y'all can hit us up in the comments and all of that good stuff. But you know, keeping an understanding that from the side of the person who may be crossing boundaries, that we're human beings. We're human
Yes.
beings and people with lives and responsibilities and other things. And just because, and I had to teach myself this in certain situations because I hadn't realized I had internalized. You see somebody's face enough, you almost kind of feel
You
like you're
think you
friends.
know them. You think,
Yeah.
yes, oh, I've done that. I know it's not done on purpose. Oh, my God. Girl, I'm full of stories. It was one of those girls from America's Next Top Model. I want to say Eva. I was
Yeah.
I was in doing a runway show, right? And all the models were coming and everybody was registering. And I saw her from across the room and I was like, oh, a face I know. And we made eye contact and it was great. And I was like, she came across the room to me. I was like, oh, good. So good to see you. I haven't seen you in such a long time. And she was like, and I was like, yeah, good, you know, like you look nice, like your haircut. She was like looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, well, why did you come over? You came over to me. Like, what's happening? And she's like, yeah, I needed to know where to go to check in to let people know I was here. I really thought we were, it wasn't Eva, but it was one of those girls.
Yes.
I really thought we were friends. And I'm thinking like, no, like you had the red couch at your house. Your hair was different. Like, no, because of freaking reality TV.
Knowing all of their business.
Oh,
I mean,
your
it's not their business.
You was crying about your baby daddy. Your sister didn't call you back. I remember. And now I was like the crazy person.
Well, so we can all relate to it. And I think that's where we have to bring back the humanity to this idea of celebrity or just even social, because I don't, you know, I'm not a celebrity, but like I'm on social a lot. So people are like, hey, I know you. And I'm like, nah. But I've done the same thing. I was at, this is, y'all, my nerd is showing, but I was at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And Chadwick Boseman starts walking towards me, and he's got 4 guys around him. And I have to say this, all I see is like a sea of, well, I would say it's fairly culturally diverse, but you know, it's just a sea of nerds. And then this one black face like coming through the crowd, and I was like, hey!
Right,
like,
right.
And he just kind of was like, and I was like, why do other men look so upset? And it was just for a split second, he was a familiar face, like an old friend. Uh-oh. Do we lose sound? She can't hear me?
Now, maybe?
I can hear you.
Okay, there we go.
I can hear you. Yeah. So it was one of those things for like a split second. I thought I knew him. Like that part of your brain that recognizes faces. It's like, oh, that's Cousin Tommy. That ain't Cousin Tommy.
No, it's
Stop
not.
it.
But you know, it's played up to the advantage. That's a part of the reason why we go live. We have classes. We do photo shoot. You know, we do things like that, and especially for celebrities, like that's what makes them a household name. You know, so it's the up and the down part of it.
And that's the challenge. That's really the challenge. The flip side to that is you know, being aware of how much you're putting out there, because you said something really interesting. You said people think that I give a lot of my personal life to social, and I really don't.
Yep.
And I think that's true for a lot of people, but then it's almost like the type of content becomes more intimate because people want to see more of that.
Yeah, you do.
But it may not necessarily be true to that person, or like their everyday, like you're not seeing everything. So you can't presume that you understand that person soup to nuts. Like,
yeah, they think that they're owed your personal life, and you know that's not true. Like, hell, how come you don't ever post your man? Because I'm just as embarrassed as you are if we break up, and I posted about him. Like, why you don't post yours? The same reason, you know?
yes, we all are, you know, in that same social boat, no matter what we're out there doing in the world. And I love that the idea of kind of traveling somewhere and then kind of being able to curate that experience from your couch. Because that does, I mean, you know, if nothing else, is one of the reasons why I don't put like people's phone number that I have business relationships with on my phone, just in case someone butt dials or something and I'm out somewhere and like you just, I'm deathly afraid of accidentally butt dialing, drunk dialing, texting somebody and it be the wrong person. And so for me, there's something really nice about this thought of take all the pictures if you want to, and then come back and curate the moment.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I also love that you say, or I'm just not taking pictures like that. I'm really just experiencing the experience.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, I think my biggest lesson was the Kardashians, how we thought we knew everything about them, and we missed an entire sex change situation. I don't care whether you think that's right or wrong. My point is, we thought we knew everything.
Yes.
And something was hidden in plain sight right in front of us.
Yes. Yes. Because it's curated. It's curated. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's entertainment, but we have to remember that reality is not TV. Reality is what's real.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us about, I want to hear a little bit more about your travels, and particularly some of the places that you thought, I need to put the phone down. I need to just like, wow, let me put the phone down and just be in this. Like, what are some of those highlight places that you've been and what made them really special?
I would say in Kuwait, I was forced to do that. I was told people at certain levels don't film everything.
Yeah.
And that if I wanted to enjoy the situation, I had to put my phone down or they would offer to hold it for me. So that was a lot.
I mean, hell, you can't go to a Dave Chappelle concert without putting your phone away. So I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, so I learned that the hard way. Or some of the things I just wasn't able to fully capture. Like in New Zealand, I would look at this beautiful sunset or horizon and try to take a picture, and it wasn't the same. Or there's this place that I went to with Brittany Howard, the singer. It is on the border of Colorado and New Mexico, where if you're in a certain valley, one way is snowy mountains, the other way is a sandy desert.
Yep, that's a great. I live about 3 hours from there.
Oh, okay, you know exactly what I'm
Yes,
talking
the sand
about.
dunes. Yeah, it's the largest sand dunes in North America.
You can't capture it the way it looks to your eyes on the phone. So after a while, I just gave up and was like, no, I guess I just have to experience this, you know?
I've definitely had that moment where I'm like so frustrated, whether I'm trying to use a DSLR or use my phone, and I'm not capturing it, and then I have to just say, wait, stop. Just stop and enjoy it, and stop and take this in. We don't have to have our phones up for everything. And that's kind of a beautiful moment to have as well. That same area is gorgeous at night. I don't know if you were there. because there's no light contamination. So when you're down there and even further south towards Royal Gorge and these other places, you rent a little. I don't want to say a camp because that's not right. Like they're very nice cabins that you can rent, even small ones that are very very nice and well appointed, and sit outside under the stars. You'll never get the picture. You'll never get the
Yeah.
picture, but there's nothing like sitting and looking out and seeing like the galaxies and the stars and the shooting stars and all of that stuff. Those are some amazing moments.
Yeah, I would say when I do go places and I want to share, it's not because I want to show off. It's because I don't come from a world where this is common. You get what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sharer in terms of I don't find myself to be extraordinarily unique. So I want anybody that I love to experience the same thing. And it's difficult. Like, I want my mama to see. I want my sisters to see. So I want to take pictures
Yes.
like that. But it's funny, like, I literally, because I was just on the phone with the phone company, I literally in my phone alone have over 15,000 photos and videos.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not nearly posting all of those.
Yeah.
But I guess the old part to me does call my mom, like, look, let me show you this. Let me see. Little sister, oh, my God, you did this, you did that. Like, my little sisters travel all the time, and I don't get to go to their places, and I really want to see. And there was a commercial where old people were putting the photos on the projector, and it was like the point was they're still using a projector. And then I thought about it one day. I was like, well, I guess when I put them on the TV, it's the same thing. Because I want to show you. I want you to see,
Yeah.
like, this is a different part of the world, and I guess it's another little part of. Remember when y'all said being a hairstylist wasn't good enough? Remember when y'all said I wasn't gonna be able to go nowhere?
And
There's a
you
little bit of that.
and that's okay. I mean, and that's the thing. It's almost I would almost capture, at least in my mind, is less trying to prove myself to the world, but to the people who are most important to me.
Exactly,
You
100%.
know?
Yeah, and wanting them to say, like, oh, my God, one day I'm going to take my mom to Kuwait. It changed my life. I want her to go there. But, I mean, it's probably weird maybe because I'm not married. Like, I don't go places and be like, oh, look at where I am. I am like the 5-year-old, like, oh, I want to take my mama here. Oh, my sister would love that. Oh, I wish my brother could come with me. It's
Yeah.
I I get to experience many amazing things, but I never dreamed that I would have amazing experiences solo.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so tell us a little bit about when you started to travel and how you started to get that exposure and that feeling of, ooh, I want to bring my family along, which I'm the same way. I'm like, I wish my mom could see this. I wish my dad could see this.
Yeah.
And there's reasons why they won't, but like, it's still a really nice, there's almost, it's truly sharing. It's not disseminating content. It's
Yeah.
sharing it. I want you to have the same feeling that I'm having because our DNA never stood here in this spot. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
I would say I've always traveled. Like, I didn't, there's different levels to traveling. We thought we was doing big things going from D.C. to New York because we were always on the move. And then you saw a little North Carolina in it. Yes. And then, Miami, when I got a little older. But I think probably the first place I traveled to by myself was just to Oklahoma City to see a boyfriend when I was like 17 or 18. And it didn't occur to me. My mom, my grandfather was like, oh, I'm scared of flights. And my mom was like, why would you go that far to see somebody? So it didn't occur to me I was doing stuff. And then, when I got with my agency, it was like, hey, we got this big job, in Dallas. Your flight leaves tomorrow. Huh? Or, the first time I went to London, only time I went to London. I don't know if we're in 2021, I guess 2018, I was in the middle of a job and got told, hey, we really need you to cover this job. You got to be on a flight in 6 hours.
Woo!
Yeah, so I'm always packed. My kit is always ready to go. It's always fully updated. I've gotten to a point over the years from having, I wouldn't say that experience happens all the time, but it has happened enough to make me know I need to stay prepared. I'll drop some gems on staying packed really quick. I keep my personals always packed. I never have to add more personals. I keep my medications. ready to go. Those have to be, re-updated time to time. When my head is right, I keep underwear in the bag because if you got your personal ready to go and your medication, you can buy clothes anywhere. I wear a unique underwear size, so I keep mine packed. But you know that about yourself. You can go to any city you go to is going to have their version of a Walmart, H&M, Bergdorf, wherever your budget is.
Mm-hmm.
To find something. But I'm always ready. I'm never going to miss an opportunity because I can't travel. So many of us have these things that keep us down. Like yesterday I was on a job, and they were like, hey, we want you to go to Austin tomorrow, which is why Austin keeps popping in my mind. It canceled at the last minute because the head of the production was like, it's not possible Monae's ready to go. She can't get on a flight in 8 hours. And they kept telling her, like, Monae does this all the time. They're like, no, we're just going to reschedule. That wouldn't be fair. Monae was like, what time is my flight?
So they were like, we need Monae out here like yesterday. Can she time travel? I don't think she could time travel. And you were like, hold my
It wouldn't be the first time. It would not. But let me tell you, it would not be the first time. Like, say, L.A., like I love flying west, where they're like, okay, it's the night before. We don't have anybody. We would love for Monae to come, but it's a 9:30 a.m. shoot. She can't get here in time. Monae is on a 6 a.m. flight, which lands about 8:30 a.m. LA time, and I will see you in the morning. Might be a few minutes late, like maybe, but usually not. And if I fly with a carry-on, this ain't gonna be late. Where you need me?
About that Precheck and Clear Life, huh?
Yes. Oh, God, yeah. People get mad at me. My Precheck game is strong. I'm mad at freaking TSA right now because you wanted my money and y'all having a hard time with the lines. I will be on the phone with people and tell them, hold on, and be through security. Sis ain't about that standing there for 30, 45 minutes like,
Never that. And it sounds like, I mean, you're basically on call like a surgeon.
Yeah.
Out here fixing people's lives.
But that's
all over the world.
People don't, many even hairstylists and makeup artists don't realize this is what you're working hard for. And let's be clear, all of it is not glamorous. Mm-hmm. But you can have fun with it, yeah.
So we know you've done like New Zealand and Kuwait. What has been a place that was just sort of like, like that's a strange place to take, that your job is taking you, whether it be in the States or around the world?
I'm sorry to do it to you. I think the place that you said you live near, okay, so getting there, I want to say we had to transfer in Dallas and then fly into Santa Fe, right? Their airport is like 4 rooms. I was walking around in circles because I couldn't find baggage claim. And I'm sorry. So the baggage claim, right? So you got off on a blacktop, and then you walk in through a hallway, and then it's like a rental place. And I'm like, but where are my bags? The baggage claim, they close the door, and they put up a ramp, and then they get your baggage down for you. I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Okay? And then we drove 3 hours to get to where we were going.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice, but I was like, I don't understand. And it was weird because I was not dressed appropriately because, once again, I only had 12 hours to get ready, and I was confused into thinking that 70 degrees was warm, but I did not know it was the desert, so that meant the morning was like 28 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then, like, I had the shirt that I had on from being in the sun. It had, like, little webs on it. Those were burned into me for 2 weeks because the sun was so strong.
The sun is no joke in Colorado, and especially with the elevation. You don't realize the elevation is there even before you've gone up a mountain, and then next thing you know, you're like, why the sun's so hot?
Yeah, why am I burning? Why am I cold and burning?
Yeah, at the same time. Is this hypothermia, Jesus? I don't know what this is.
Is this heat stroke? What's happening? Somebody, what's happening? Stop. Absolutely. Yes. So I would say that's the weirdest place. I'm trying, like, the name, where we go for the festival in Utah. I don't know why the name keeps jumping out of my head. That's somewhere that is a lot to handle.
Like Burning Man?
Sundance.
Sundance. Oh, Sundance. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is a lot
In
to
Park
handle.
City.
That is not a fun place. Like,
Where did you
yeah.
stay while you were there?
The first time I went, I stayed 7 miles away,
Oof,
and
okay.
there was no service. We couldn't get anybody to pick us up. The Ubers just wouldn't come. It was bad. Each year got better for me, but each year it's like, okay, we're gonna do this again. Hopefully, and each year gets better. So each year you're like, I hope it gets better, but I don't care.
I stayed there once, not for Sundance, and I know once Sundance is like in full swing, it's like any city that has a festival, except Park City's really small. It's a small, for those of you who haven't been to Park City, Utah, it's basically a small ski town.
Who don't want us
But
there?
yeah, so like it can be nice if you're really focused on like one activity, but overrun by, several thousand people for a festival, because there's celebrities there and all kinds of stuff. So then it's just people there to be around them, and then it's people that's actually there with tickets. I can't even imagine, because they do have like dive bars and saloons and things like that. But that being said, I stayed at Montage, right up the hill from like the downtown area. I don't even call it downtown, like the town would be the word. And it was a beautiful, beautiful hotel. It had amazing views. Y'all, my favorite feature of this hotel was you could lay in the bed with the remote control, open the curtains, turn off the lights, light the fireplace, turn the TV, change the lights in the bathroom. I said, I'm never getting up. So maybe that's why I didn't mind the town so much.
I love it. And, I'm not a skier, so every year that I've been there, first off, I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off from easily 5 a.m. to, at bare minimum, 3 to 4 p.m.
Wow.
But every time the group of people that we're associated with, every year somebody breaks a leg, a hip, or something on the result. So it's kind of like,
it's not worth it.
Why are we here? Yeah. But sometimes it's on the slope. Sometimes it's walking around, because y'all know it's like a foot or two of snow sometimes that people act like they don't see it. And like, yeah, we still need you here at 5 a.m. Really? Because it's 12 degrees. Oh, this is normal? Okay, let me put on my thermal. There.
So note to self, ski cities and ski adjacent cities are not your jam, but that's okay.
The cold is not. And, I can generally do the heat. New York, I moved back to New York 10 years ago. And New York, because they don't have climate control, well, something so New York just happened. A guy literally came all the way across the street just to spit on my car. And make eye contact. Oh my goodness. But something like about New York is everybody doesn't have climate control, so it is outrageously hot. Like, the heat can be lower than like when I lived in Northern Virginia or DC. But because generally the city is just sweltering,
yes.
It is heat like nobody's business. Oh my God.
And when it's trash day?
It's always trash day. Oh, it's always trash day. Yeah. That's why New York is survival of the fittest. If you cannot survive, you do not fit.
Amen to that. It's, I generally avoid like New York in August, because it's just too much heat, too much humidity, and then the waft in the air of people, trash, and other things. But yeah, it's remarkably hot.
It is currently 99 degrees. I think it was like 105 today.
Son, we've had the craziest heat wave. Climate change.
Yes. Absolutely.
Craziest heat wave. I mean, it was 100 degrees here several days in a row, over 100 degrees, just casually over 100. What's that?
What was it at night?
I would say low 80s, maybe high 70s, low 80s. I mean, it was just like, the good thing is because of the elevation here, we have far less humidity. It's a much drier place. So when it's 100 degrees, yes, it's hot, but you don't feel like you're dying the second you walk out the door.
Yeah,
Then you're
yeah,
like, man, it's real warm out here. I wonder what the temperature is. And your iPhone is passed out.
yeah. Your iPhone is like, don't involve me in this. I'm done. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So,
Thankfully, I haven't dealt with heat stroke, but in Park City,
mm-hmm.
running around when I tell you guys running, I don't mean that casually. I mean like sometimes I'm booked with so many back to back that like one. I'm sorry, stories are coming to mind. So one
I
time I
love
got
it.
to work with Usher, and I was very excited, right? Very excited. And so they say they booked me with him for 35 minutes. Normally you get an hour for just in case, but it was down to the minute. So I knocked on his room door. I did his makeup. He was very nice, very kind, and there was somebody else there with him because, he doesn't know me. Why would he want to be in private with me? We kikied, ha. But I was thinking, like, as we were talking, I was like, oh, my God, Usher. So I leave his room, and I was like, I like Usher, but not this much. So I was like, okay, let me go and sit down somewhere, like, because I'm sweating profusely, and then I'm getting embarrassed because I can't catch my breath. And a hotel guard came over and was talking to me or whatever. And he was like, yeah, how's your day? Da-da-da. So we're talking, and he's like, yeah, how about you come downstairs with me real quick? Apparently I had like an altitude attack, and
Altitude
they were
sickness.
so altitude sickness, and I didn't know, and they were so accustomed to it. Like their first floor was really fifth floor high. Park City is such the high altitude, and they took me like 10 floors underground
Wow.
back to regular one. And they were saying like when you travel, you can't go from New York at sea level to Park City. Of course, no one told me this before, but I was like, what an interesting experience. So they took me down
Mm-hmm.
there, calmed me down, called me an Uber, put me in, and was like, okay, she's got to go back down the hill. Like she can't be up here right now.
Yeah.
Another unique
Wow.
experience. So I don't know. I guess Park City is at the top of my list for unique experiences.
She
I didn't
said,
know
y'all can
issues
keep
in New
all of that.
Zealand. Yeah. I didn't even have issues like this in Kuwait, New Zealand, Toronto, none of those. But Park City?
So tell us, I know we only have a few minutes left. You're on the run all the time, and we know you're on call, Surgeon Monae. But what's the next place that you are looking forward to that you know you're going? Either for your own travel or for your business?
Well, I know I'll be in DC next week for some major family events that I'm really looking forward to. The week after next is Dallas for a project that I'm looking forward to. Can't speak about quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know thus far. But my focus are on the Texture Style Awards. This is really the first time that any award system has ever come to celebrate the beauty in all four hair textures, and the hairstylists display them. And I am just so happy that I'm shining a light on this. And representation matters. We need to be seen in every aspect.
Yes, and where can we find that?
So you can watch the Texture Style Awards. It's going to be a night full of humor, diversity, and accolades at TextureStyleAwards.com on July 5th at 8 p.m. EST. So that's Texture Style Awards, July 5th at 8 p.m. EST.
So while y'all are like done, just finishing off the ribs, you're like, okay, let me cut the TV on, or let me go look at the computer. Go find the Texture Style Awards and kick back and see all of the curly, coily, kinky, wavy beautifulness that is Texture Style. And where can we find you when we want to get our face beat? Are you now so amazingly stellar that we could never get to you, or with the right cash and the right time frame, we could get you?
Let me tell you, I style all hair. Right cash, right event, I'm there. Just make sure it's the right cash, right event, and I'm there.
I love that. So where can we find you online so we can follow your 2-day late escapades through the world and see what you're doing next?
At Monae Artistry on my Instagram. You can check out my classes because I do teach hairstylists how to do what I do at themonaelife.com, and Monae is Monae. So that's themonalife.com, themonalife.com.
Hey, Monae, I'm so sorry that you didn't have a glass with you, but I have a glass for you.
I got a Snapple, girl. I was running.
Look, it counts. It counts. It counts. You got to hydrate yourself. But my goodness, this was so much fun. It was so great to see how your business has taken you around the world, because we don't always see how that can happen, especially in the beauty industry. And,
Yes.
and you kind of touched on that. Oh, what you gonna do? Yeah, we can do these things if it's on your heart to do it. If you're open, if you treat your clients well, you never know where it can take you. And I love that you shared that with us. I will be avoiding Park City for a minute. Sorry, Park City. But now, like, you was trying to be on my list, but now you can't. I mean, you're making people sick. You're out here just acting.
Park City. Yeah.
No more Park City for you.
No. I'll probably be back next year now, because, that's some good
catch
there. Yeah, but Park City has been interesting to me. Oh, I was so pressed to get in here and have this interview with you. I didn't even close my door all the way and didn't realize it. Yeah. I was like, we got to talk. I'm here, because anytime I say I'm going to do something, I always do it. I never let anything get in the way of me keeping my word.
I love that. I appreciate that. This was so much fun chatting with you. Next time you through Colorado, holla at me. But this has been so much fun. Everybody, thank y'all in the comments. Y'all been like lurking. Some of y'all been waving. Some of y'all been typing in.
Hearts. Yes, give her some hearts. She works hard to put this show together, and with the algorithm. Without those hearts and likes, nobody's gonna watch. Help a sister out. She works hard.
That's what's up. I take the plug. And I know a lot of you came over to see Monae. Just in case you're wondering who the hell I am, because I just introduced myself at the beginning. Oh, look at all the hearts come in. Oh, I love you.
Yes, come on.
I'm Orion Brown. I'm a founder and CEO of Black Travel Box. We're a personal care products company for travelers of color. So if you got melanin in any amount and you would like to travel, come hit us up. This is our IG, Black Travel Box, and you can find us online at www.blacktravelbox.com. In the meantime, I hope that Wind Down Wednesday gave you a nice little break. We kept it short, we kept it fun, we kept it focused, and so the rest of your week, you've made it past hump day officially. You've made it past hump day, y'all. I'm so glad you joined us. Monae, thank you so much. Hydrate, sleep, take care of yourself, girl, and keep going out there and slaying.
Will do, and I'm looking forward to this gift box. Maybe you'll send me one and we can do another unboxing or something, because I'm like, oh, sis, what's in the gift box, though?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Don't hang up without telling us what's in the gift box. Now you got me sitting on the edge of my seat.
So we have, we've just started out, but we have a deluxe gift set. We're actually going to be, it's between me and just y'all. We're going to be on Macy's.com in a few months. We have our beautiful bag. I'm going to show you. You're going to see our stuff. But our audience, y'all know the hearts. I see y'all. We have a beautiful bag. We have our shampoo, co-wash, and conditioner that are all in bar form. So when you fly in, you don't have to have any of that foolishness.
Yes.
We have body balm, so you don't have to deal with ashy lotion. Like, how you going to have lotion that puts ash on you?
Yes.
And we have a hair balm, and there's a lot more coming right now. And actually, that just reminds me, because I'm terrible. I just came here to drink, y'all. I'm sorry. I came here to drink, talk to cool people. But we're running a campaign on I Fund Women. If you go to our profile, you'll see the link. We're running a campaign on I Fund Women, raising $50K. There's more to be done. But, man, we got some dope products in the pipeline. And I'm just thinking about the stuff that pisses me off when I travel. And hopefully it pisses you off, too. And we can meet that need. And so that's something that, yeah, girl, we definitely get you. Hit the DMs and get us that address, and we'll make sure that we hook you up right. Since you are on the road, because you like to stay ready instead of getting ready, and I'm here for that.
Yeah,
I'm totally
when you get ready, you forget something.
Every time. I can't tell you how many times customers have DM'd us or even called, and if God forbid somebody knows me, they will text me and they'll be like, so I'm about to get on this plane and I forgot. We send product to hotels. I mean, sometimes you just got to do it.
Come on, have some concierge. Yes.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I'm wishing
Yes.
you nothing but prosperity on this. This is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for gracing us with your beauty, your wit, your experience. And I'm proud of you, sis. It's weird when people say they're proud because it's like they had a piece of it. It's not saying I had a piece of it. I'm proud that you're out there doing what you do. I think that that's a wonderful thing. You representing us, even if you didn't sign up to represent us, you're representing us and you're doing it.
We are both representing our community. But, I had somebody correct me with that. So now I'm so happy for you.
Yes.
That's what I say now. Because somebody corrected me hard. And I was like, all right, you got a little point. Yeah. Because I'm not surprised that you're prosperous. But I'm happy for you. How about that?
I'm happy.
Can't say nothing back now. How about that? Exactly.
I love that you're getting your shine, girl. Thank you so much for joining. Everybody else, thank you for joining. It was wine. It was great. I'm going to call it a night. Take care, everyone.
Good night.
Bye. Take care, girl.